All right, welcome everybody. This is part 2 of the workshop with DevKitty. So last time we took a look at assembling the CutieCat. Should all be put together now. Today we're going to take a first look at setting this up. I'm going to show you how to flash this, and then we'll dive into some USB attacks. So this is going to be really exciting. It's also great to have everybody back with the addition of David.
Woo! Very exciting. Let's take a look real quick through the different tabs we've got here. So everyone, this is happening during our Hackster Holidays initiative at Hackster over the course of December 2024, our first ever one. And we're going to be giving away a bunch of these kits live during the holidays finale on Tuesday, the 31st at noon Pacific. So join us there. Sign up for the giveaway and join the stream live for your chance to win. So you can go there to the URL here, or just go to our YouTube and you'll find a virtual events and webinars playlist, which has part 1, which Alex just mentioned, and then also this part 2, as well as the finale on there. You can sign up for all of those, watch part 1, rewatch part 2. You'll certainly want to watch this because we're gonna have an awesome time. And then there's a tutorial, which if you go to Hackster.io and scroll down to the featured projects, you will find this right up top. Build your own cat-themed hacking console with DevKitty. We covered the soldering parts, as Alex mentioned last time. And then we're going to be going into some payload injection today, which is also part of the guide here.
Yeah, I have to finish amending.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I have to finish amending that flashing guide, but it's got some very basic links to where you can find the flasher and also some of the other firmwares that you can check out. I'm hoping that in the future I can demonstrate some of the other attack capabilities, but the focus for today is USB attacks with CircuitPython.
Super cool. Last time we had a couple of Hackster pros along. Today we have David Groom, who is a pro as well. Check out the pro program. Ginger, who was on the stream last time, is our program manager and also the leader of the Hackster Pro program, which is currently in an invite-only stage. In fact, it's going to stay that way. If you'd like to earn money and also get access to new hardware and get exposure if you want to do videos, challenges, live builds, and other things for hardware, then join the program. You can apply here. So we are going to be working with the CutieCat, which is a version of the DevKitty hardware. We went over this in depth last time, but Alex, would you like to give us a quick recap of what's going on here?
Yeah, so DevKitty is the platform. I'm working on a couple different versions. The one that we've been working with is called the CutieCat. If you want to switch over to my screen, the reason why it's called the CutieCat was initially I designed it around the Adafruit Qt Py, but this form factor also works with Seed Studio Xiao boards. The actual microcontroller itself is the ESP32, because it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and native USB, which is great for all sorts of hacking and reconnaissance purposes. Yeah, it's called the CutieCat. It's a soldering kit you can throw together yourself. The next iteration of it is called Whisker. This is coming out on my crowd supply campaign. If you want to support a more polished surface mount version with all the bells and whistles included, it's going to have GPS and a built-in battery management system and a bunch of other really cool features. You can check that out. Hopefully getting a prototype for this in the next 3 weeks.
So cool. And you've got these modules you can add onto there, the Trust M module. This one already has that little SparkFun Quick Connect breakout, right?
Precisely. So this is compatible with both SparkFun and Adafruit hardware. Quick is just an I2C interface, so 2 wires and you can hook up an indefinite amount of sensors for all sorts of fun things.
Very cool. So we're going to be using the ESP tool DevKitty Web Flasher.
Yes.
Check out part 1, mentioned that. We may or may not get to this today, but you can follow this Adafruit CircuitPython LED animations tutorial with the DevKitty to break out some lights on a NeoPixel strip or whatever. I think you were talking about using APA 102s as well, right? Dot stars?
Right. If you, I'll show you how to get this set up in a second. But once you load the default firmware on there, it should give you a little demonstration showing that everything works. So the OLED screen is on, and then you've got the little NeoPixel here, flashes some colors. So you can toggle it on and off too. But yeah, this is a WS2812B. I like the APA 102s because they come in a really small package. I also noticed some of the timing issues that I've encountered working with the ESP32 in the past. I don't really see as much of that. But yeah, we'll probably save the LEDs and CircuitPython for a different workshop.
Yeah, we got a lot to get through. I'm very excited
We do.
about it though. But this is the link if y'all want to check out that website. I'm going to take us through a couple more pages that we're going to be looking at today, just so y'all can be up to speed. Here's the crowd supply for Whisker. Look up DevKitty. We're going to be coding in Ducky script, which is also used for the USB rubber ducky by Hack5, which just looks like a regular USB flash drive. Very cool, but not, in my opinion, quite as cool as the DevKitty. We're going to be working with the CircuitPython firmware, which you can find on the GitHub page, DevKitty.io, which is linked in the tutorial. Also, Amelia has a number of demos already loaded up in Ducky script. So under this quackery repo that we'll put up, you can find more of Amelia's cool stuff at aask.ltd. AASK is just pronounced ask. And then also, Amelia, would you like to tell us a little bit about this? This is super cool.
Yeah, so as part of my regular day life, I actually hack on automotive, semi-truck, and other large industrial equipment. And as part of that, one of those things that I run is called the Cyber Tractor Challenge. And it's a week-long event, kind of like a summer camp, all expenses paid for students to apply to. And if accepted, you'll go to Iowa for a week where you'll learn for 2 days how to hack tractors from the experts. Then you'll get 2 days to actually work with those experts to develop new exploits for the equipment that's provided there on site. And then you'll have a day to scare us and our sponsors. But yeah, we're a fully sponsored 501c3 nonprofit. And if you're interested in learning more about us, check out our website, cybertractorchallenge.org. And if you're a student that's in a full-time program currently, so a full-time 2-year, 4-year, or like graduate program, so master's, PhD, or other, you're eligible to apply. We'll be making those selections starting in January. So if you do apply, keep an eye out.
Very cool. Oh, man. Jealous of the students who get to do that. That's awesome. All right. Welcome everyone in the audience, by the way. Feel free to drop questions or comments in the chat. We might pull them up on screen if you say something especially witty or cool. Go for it. But yeah, all right. I think we're good to go. That's all the tabs I had. Thank you for bearing with me on that.
Cool. So we can dive into flashing then. So there's 2 ways that you can flash your board. I usually prefer to use ESP tool in a terminal. I find this the most frictionless option. A little mixed up this morning. You can get this on any architecture. If you're on Mac, if you're on Windows or Linux, you can download ESP tool, and it's just a single command you can run, flashes within a matter of seconds. I can show you how this looks, actually, if you want to switch over to my screen real fast.
Sure. I'm not seeing it just yet, but I will pull this up. ESP tool you can find on GitHub from Espressif, the people who make the ESP32 S3 that is on this board. And yeah, we are just pulling that up.
Okay, can you see that?
Very cool though. Yes, I see you now.
Awesome. I should be screen sharing just my terminal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so sudo esptool.py write flash, and then the name of the file that you want to flash. So in this case, if you've downloaded the binary file for CryptKitty, you can just copy over the file name for that. And then you tell it the offset where you want to flash it to. In this case, I'm going to write it at the beginning of flash memory, so just 0. And it should start flashing. Ooh, it doesn't like that. Why don't you like that? Oh, write flash 0, and then the name of the file. There we go. It automatically detects the port where my Espressif device is connected and starts flashing it right over. So nice. The only caveat is you'll have to learn some of the syntax for using this tool. It's really not that complicated. Or if you're unable to install ESP tool, say you're a student that's using a Chromebook or something like that, you might not have the admin privileges to install this on a computer. The second option is to do this from a web browser. You can switch over to my camera. You can see that it's flashed successfully. There we go. We've got the
So
script kiddie
cute.
interface. But the other
Load it up on
option,
YouTube.
if you want to go over to flash.devkitty.io, I don't know if we want to throw that link up there.
Yeah. Here we go.
So Google
So,
Chrome
yeah.
came out with something really awesome called Web Serial. This was designed to re-administer like Google Pixel devices if you want to reflash the operating system or whatever. But what's great is now you can use this to also interface with microcontrollers or other devices that have a serial port. So Espressif came out with a tool that lets you flash from the web browser. I basically just pulled a copy of this website from a flasher that Adafruit built about a year ago and modified it a little bit. But it uses ESP tool under the hood. It runs in a web browser, and there's basically 3 steps that you need to follow. First step is putting your device into DFU mode. So when I programmed this from ESP tool in my terminal, I didn't have to do this. It's a little finicky in the web browser. Sometimes it's not able to toggle the auto reset sequence on the microcontroller. So if you find that it's not connecting to your web browser, what you can do is you can hold down this little button on the bottom here. It's really small. It's next to the USB port, and it's labeled B. This is the
Gotta
boot
have
button.
like a little fingernail there.
Yeah, this is used to toggle it into what's called DFU mode, or device firmware upgrade mode. So you can just hold down that button while you plug it in. So I'm going to do that. You'll notice it doesn't boot up with anything this time. That's because it's in flashing mode. That's all it takes to put it into DFU mode. You just hold down the boot button while you plug it in. Second step is you'll want to download the binary file that you want to flash. If you check out the Hackster project page, I linked a couple of other projects that we have.
Just click on flashing guide in the sidebar. And of course, for some reason, I screwed up something with my browser and it hates me. But anyway, you can also just scroll down and find the flashing guide area. And there's a few different projects linked here.
Yeah, so we've got CircuitPython. That's the one that we're trying out today. We've got the war driver. This is for mapping wireless devices while driving around. I war drove the entire country when I moved from California to New York with this exact firmware.
That's incredible.
CircuitPython is what we're saving for a different workshop. And then if you just want to do a basic function test and make sure everything works, the QA tester was the first firmware that I demonstrated. Just some basic graphics on screen, LEDs, button test. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and download the CutieCat firmware, that's what we're going to be using.
I have already downloaded it, and I'm very excited about it. Is this the right page? I'll pull that up real quick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
1 second. There we go. So just grabbing the CutieCat version of the bin for the ESP32S3.
Yep, we got some questions last time about the difference between the CutieCat and the Nugget. The Nugget was the old version of the hardware. At this point, I've taught like maybe 30 or 40 workshops, I'd say. And not until very recently was it called the CutieCat, so that name change startled some people. I'm still supporting the old version of the hardware, so you'll see that there's a binary available for that.
Yeah.
But once you've downloaded it, you can go ahead and throw that into the flasher.
Yeah. So Alex mentioned that this is the previous version. I went ahead and dumped the link to this as well as a bunch of other links we looked at for tools and things in our previous videos. So if you caught the previous one and you want to find something that was linked there, go check out the links there. I have already done this. I'm a little concerned it might make me do the whole thing again, but I'll try just disconnecting and see what happens.
You might
should
have
we
to
go through
completely
it?
refresh the page if you haven't refreshed it since then.
Sure. I'll go ahead and do this.
Yep.
All right. So
if you're in DFU mode, you can connect to the board. Keep in mind this will only work from a Chrome or Chrome-based browser.
I definitely need to reset. 1 second. Holding down boot, hitting reset. There we go. Now, do I need to reload the page? I think I do.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no, here we go. Hooray!
Hey.
I'm going to select my file here.
It should show you some very basic information about your device. It says the chip type is an ESP32S3, MAC address, a bunch of other stuff. But Yeah, that's pretty much it. You upload the file and hit program.
And it's kind of just hanging out here in its previous state while it does that. Should we know about any kind of like LED indication or whatever? It looks like it's just kind of staying static. This is just completed. Alex is currently muted, just in case that wasn't intentional. But I'm gonna go reset this.
Oh, yeah. There is no LED indication because there's no firmware that's currently written to it. Some of the older ones that are based around like an ESP8266, which have like a dedicated UART bridge, like a CH340 or something, they might flash LEDs. But since this one has native USB and it's flashing through that, there's no lights or anything that are hooked up during the programming process. But once you flash it, you should see something on screen like this.
That's so cool. We got Amelia has it up too.
Yep. And you have different folders you can go through.
Oh, I see. So those are the different systems that you can prank or like drop payloads into.
Yeah. So the way
Aha.
this works, I mentioned native USB. So when this is hooked up to your computer, it does two things. For one, it emulates a keyboard, which is used to deliver the keystroke injection attacks. That basically takes advantage of the fact that computers inherently trust keyboards and human interface devices. Because like, imagine if you needed to install drivers to use your keyboard. Like, how would you do that without a keyboard? So certain classes of devices are automatically trusted, like mice, keyboards, other human interface devices, really. So this emulates that and types things out at really fast speeds using the Ducky script payloads that we're going to take a look at. And the second thing is it also pops up as mass storage. So if you want to edit those payloads, if you go to your file system on your computer, if you want to open that up and share with us, it pops up as a flash drive. So you can use this for editing the payloads with your built-in text editor, but you can also use this for exfiltrating files as well. So you just dump it right over to a convenient flash drive that pops up on the victim's computer.
So I feel like I might screw up my screen share if I do show this, but I can
switch
confirm
over
that
to mine. Let me present for you real quick.
Beautiful. DevKitty is showing up as a drive, and basically everything that's on this screen is what's on the device.
Let me know if you can see me.
There we go.
We're good?
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a drive here that pops up. It's DevKitty in all caps. Basically, anything you put on this drive, you'll see on the interface. So you noticed earlier it said Linux, Mac, and Windows. Those are the actual folders you can navigate into. I've also created some subfolders as well. Hack5 has a good reference for some of the default ways that you can organize your payloads, like exfiltration, malware, prank payloads, so on and so forth. I've got a couple examples in there. The key thing is they have to be named a .txt file in order to be interpreted by the CircuitPython firmware. The syntax is pretty simple. It's human readable. We'll take a look at this more in just a second.
This is awesome. I haven't actually looked at this before, so I'm over here like flipping out.
And the other thing is, in the base directory, you'll see this config.txt file. This is what you can use to edit the default credentials for the CircuitPython, and you might be thinking, what credentials? Oh. So this also has a web interface. The ESP32 has Wi-Fi. So I've programmed a web UI that you can access from your phone or your laptop. We actually tested this out for a distance, a little distance test. We were able to trigger a payload from over a mile away over Wi-Fi with a directional antenna.
Wow.
So you can change the credentials for the Wi-Fi network and password, and also the type of USB device that it's emulating. So by default, it emulates a infinite tunnel.
I'll put you back on.
It emulates a Mac keyboard. The reason for this is Mac OS doesn't like non-Apple keyboards, so I just looked up the vendor ID and product ID code for an Apple keyboard, and that seemed to skirt around the issue.
That's awesome.
Seeing if I can pull up a list for vendor ID and product ID. It's USB. Okay, here we go. It's linux-usb.org/usb.ids. So I've seen some interesting exploits. Yeah, I've seen some interesting exploits where, like, a while back, certain Razer devices, like keyboards and mice, would trigger administrative privileges the second they're plugged in. So someone wrote a script for a Hack5 device that emulates a Razer keyboard. And then right after doing that, it uses keystroke injection with that brief window of administrative privilege to inject a payload. So you can do all sorts of really fun stuff with this.
That is so freaky. I can't believe they would have it automatically trigger admin privileges when you hook up a keyboard. That's terrifying. So I've gone ahead and updated my config file. As Alex mentioned, this is just showing up as a flash drive on my computer. So I went in and edited that text file for config to put my Wi-Fi credentials in there. And I'm not going to show it up on screen because I'm paranoid. But just as
I can
soon
show
as
you
I
on mine
saved
because I'm
that,
at the public library.
on there. Nice.
We'll maybe demonstrate this towards the end, but you can see here, is my screen backwards? I've got a network that says DevKitty. DevKitty. I'll show you what the web UI looks like a little later.
Cool.
So the config is the Wi-Fi that it's going to serve, not that it's going to connect to, right? Or is it the Wi-Fi it's going to connect to?
It's the Wi-Fi that it's serving.
Okay, that's what I thought. Cool.
I'm working on a version where or an update to the firmware where you can have it connect to a network, but that can be a little bit conspicuous if they have like an intrusion detection system or something like that.
That makes sense.
What you can also do is a technique called geofencing as well. There was a thing called war shipping where you can basically send a device to a corporation and have it sit in their mailroom while addressed to a fake employee. And once it detects that certain networks are within presence, it'll automatically deploy its payload for like reconnaissance or whatever.
Wow.
Or a captive portal.
I assume fake employee for obvious reasons that you don't want anyone actually picking it up.
Exactly, and then it'll get returned to sender.
Freaky.
Yep. Do you want to pull up that Ducky script reference? In just a second, we can dive into constructing some actual payloads.
Perfect. Let me pull it up here. Which one in particular? I've got the Hack5 Ducky script page, and then also I have your tutorial, and I've got this Rickroll file. I've got
I think I might
stuff.
actually have something. Let me see if I've got some old slides here.
Feel free to drop it.
Okay, yeah. If you want to switch over to my screen in just a second,
awesome.
We can rip off of these slides that I have.
Nice.
So I'm curious,
you gave a talk about this at Hope. Hackers on Planet Earth.
Are you guys familiar with Ducky scripts?
I've never used it, but clearly Amelia has.
David,
what about you?
It's a really basic scripting language. It's not even considered a programming language. You can pick this up as a beginner. If you've never touched Python or anything like that, it's a completely different paradigm. It's, I forget the term for it, but it's like, it's a language that's designed for one particular use case. And in this event, this is just for keystroke injection. So anything that you can do behind a computer with just a couple of seconds, you can instruct Ducky scripts to basically emulate those exact key presses. There's really only 3 commands that you have to know. String, this is literally just a string of exactly what you want the device to type out. So if you are typing out a URL, for instance, maybe it's a link to a stager payload. You want to download a piece of malware or a prank that's at a known URL. You would use string to inject that exact URL. You can do key presses, so you can instruct it to perform exact hotkey presses. Like for example, you can do like Control-C, Control-V, that kind of thing if you're copying text. And you also have access to the function keys as well. That's really useful if you want to do like full screen, if you want to take screenshots or whatever have you. And the most important thing is actually delays. So since this types faster than a human would, you have to give the Ducky scripts time to accommodate for programs to launch. So if you're using terminal to launch a Firefox window and you immediately start injecting the string, you might actually start typing before you have a chance for that window to open. So you can use a delay in milliseconds to basically give it time for those things to launch. And that's really all there is to it. If you want to switch over to the Hack5 reference, they have a more extensive documentation on all the different key presses that you can do and all the different key combos that are available.
Very cool. And like you mentioned, all those 3 commands you just mentioned are in this Rickroll one for the Mac: delay, string, and then also the individual keys like enter,
Precisely.
command tab.
What I like to do is start by outlining pseudocode for whatever it is that I'm creating, and then try that out myself manually on the keyboard before breaking it down into those 3 basic commands. So what I'm going to have you guys do as an example is we're going to make a Rickroll for the different operating systems that we're on. What is everybody else using? I'm currently on Linux.
I'm on Mac.
I've got Mac OS.
I'm on Windows for this live stream, so we got the full
Perfect.
bridge.
Perfect.
Nice. I have not instantly memorized that Mac Rickroll, so I should be able to do something. Write it from
Yeah, I made my own that just does the audio because YouTube sometimes likes to throw ads in there.
Oh, yeah.
What I want you guys to do as a brief exercise for the people that are following along is break down the Rickroll script into pseudocode in a text editor. Because all the code that we're going to be running on the CircuitPython, you can do this with the built-in text editor on whatever machine it is that you're using. So one thing to note before we do that is key combinations and the terminal are going to be your best friend. The terminal is the fastest way to execute pretty much anything using a keyboard. And hotkey combinations can be used to even navigate graphical user interfaces or quickly launch a terminal window. So I have this little reference here. If you give me a second to pull it up. I'll dump all these links later on. But these are some hotkey combinations that you can use for Windows, Linux, Mac OS. So for example, on Linux, like if I wanted to pop open a terminal, what I could do is Control-Alt-T, at least on the version of Ubuntu that I'm on. That throws me directly into a Windows terminal. If you are on Windows, David, you can do Windows R, and that throws you into a run dialog. I don't know if you want to share your screen. Oh, Alex, you should navigate away from my screen share.
Oh, sure, sorry.
To David's.
I was getting lost in my own little world there.
I'm playing with Copilot to break my code down into pseudocode.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Since you're sharing on Mac, Ask, I think try Command Space. That should be the search dialog. Is that right?
Yeah. Let me go get my whole desktop up. One sec.
Command Space should put you in a search dialog, and from there you can open up a terminal window. And then for people that are on Windows, you can do Windows R and then search for CMD.
So you would do, it would open this Spotlight search here. Which then gives you these drop downs. And it'll search your whole computer, but you can run like all sorts of apps. So like if you have...
I think you can also directly inject a command into there too.
I think you can. Yeah.
Yeah, with Windows too, if you're doing Windows R, you can just inject like a PowerShell command. So again, the key thing here is we're trying to use a hotkey combination to pop open a terminal window, and then from there use a command to execute whatever subsequently. So what I want you guys to do is we'll give it just 1 minute. I want you to open up a text editor and just write out pseudocode for how you would perform a Rickroll attack.
Cool.
While you're doing that, I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like for me on Linux.
Screen up.
Are we on my screen?
Oh, yeah, let me grab you. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
So for me on Windows, or oops, Linux, I can do Control-Alt-T, and that throws me in a terminal. So I'm going to write that down. We're going to do Control-Alt-T, terminal. The next step for me is I want to use terminal to pivot to a browser. Of course, there's other methods for doing this. Like you can just hit Windows and search for the browser you want to launch. But the point of this demonstration is if you're doing something more complex, like maybe you're installing a backdoor, or maybe you're dumping someone's SSH keys into a tarball file on their desktop, ask. You would want to do this from a terminal window. But for this very basic demonstration, we're just launching a browser. Oftentimes, this is as simple as just running a single command. You can do Chrome, I think. Oh, that doesn't work. Firefox. Boom, that launches me into a Firefox window. So I'm going to write that down, Firefox. We'll also give it a delay. I'll say like delay 500 for half a second. Once we've launched Firefox, what we can do is start typing out the URL that we want to navigate to. But you'll notice that this terminal window is still on top. That's kind of annoying. The way that I would switch over to the browser, I could either do Alt-Tab to navigate to this screen, or I could look at a way to do this completely from the terminal. That's ideal. If you can cut out as many steps as possible without having to navigate the graphical user interface, that leaves a lot less room for mistakes to happen. So with Firefox, you can literally do the exact URL that you want to launch. So I can do like Firefox, https, google.com. Boom. That opens up Google in a new window. So I'm just going to amend the payload that I have over here. Firefox, followed by URL. Then let's pull up a video of our choice. Let's go to YouTube. Actually, you know what? Let's do a fake malware site, or maybe a fake Windows refresh page. Windows restart page.
Those are fun.
Ah, yes. Free unlimited rebooting experience.
How is that not a promoted
It's a
link?
feature, not a bug. Whoa! That's great.
Fake Windows reboot. So if you're following along in the audience and you have one of your kits, I want you to try this out. Just have it open up a URL, your choice. Okay, this one's perfect. We can also throw it into full screen too. So you can use the function keys for doing stuff like that.
Wow.
Like if you are opening up a video, you can use the function keys to adjust the volume. Or in this event, if you want to throw this page into full screen, you can use F11. I'm going to copy this link. I'll throw this over in here, Firefox link. And then we want to do full screen. How would I do that here? Oh, I can press
F11?
the letter F. There we go. Yeah, F11 puts anything into full screen. It looks like in this case, it's just putting the whole browser page into full screen. But then you can use the F key on this particular website to throw the fake reboot page into full screen. So
They thought of everything.
So how do you do a key combo? I'm going to look this up on the Ducky script page, but I assume other people
You
are going
just
to wonder as well.
Put them in order on their lines.
Ah.
So like here you can see in my script, I have GUI space
Let me pull it up.
space. So that tells it to use the super key or whatever you want to call it, and then also space at the same time.
Cool.
if you want to switch
Wait,
back
so
over to my screen.
Did you say GUI is like the equivalent of the command key, possibly?
Yeah. The Windows key or whatever. The graphical user interface key.
We've said it like 4 different ways.
Yeah, I have been like focusing on switching windows and stuff. Apologies.
Okay, so once you have your pseudocode written, you can see it's pretty basic. The next step is we can translate this into actual Ducky script. So again, just keep in mind that there's 3 different types of commands that we're focusing on, really. Key presses / key press combinations, strings, and then also delays. And some of the other stuff that comes with the key press combos, the key presses really, a lot of these are intuitive. Like if you want to hit the enter key, menu, delete, up, down, left, right arrows for navigation, that kind of thing. It's going to be literally those exact names. So for doing a key press combination, which you asked about, Alex, it's literally just all on the same line. The proper syntax for this is all capital, so I'll do Control-Alt-T. We'll give it a little delay before opening up terminal, so we'll wait for half a second, delay 500. After that, the next step is we want to type out this exact string, Firefox, followed by the URL. So what I'll do is string Firefox, et cetera, et cetera. And then we'll hit enter. So literally the word enter. We'll accommodate for the fact that it's going to take a couple seconds for Firefox to load, so I'll add another delay. We'll do 1500, that's 1.5 seconds. After that, we can do F11, that should press the function key. Then we'll delay for, let's say, another half second. And then you should be able to do a single key press if you just do F. Or you can also do string F, that should do the same thing. And that's really it. What you can do is you can save this to a text file on that flash drive. So I can navigate to the DevKitty flash drive. We're going to go to Linux. I'm going to go to example, and then I'll name this fake reboot.txt and save that. So can we switch over to my camera real quick, Alex?
Yeah. I'm going to stand back on the rest of these so I can just focus on doing the...
So this should update the interface automatically. You can see we have Linux, Mac, and Windows. Those are the file or folders that are already there. You can go ahead and navigate into Linux. That's where I just saved it. You can go to example payloads. Then we have a default one here, colors.txt, but we have this one I just created, which is fake reboot.txt. So I'm going to run this twice for you. I'm going to run it once here so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll run it a second time and show you what my screen actually displays. So if I go ahead and run it, you can see we've got a little cat that shows us the current commands that are running. A feature that I'm working on is debugging with this interface. So you can basically step through the commands one by one to debug if anything is going wrong on your payload. But once it finishes running, you can see it says left to go back. I'm going to run this a second time so I can show you what the actual keystroke injection payload looks like. So if you want to share my screen real quick.
Apologies. Okay. I'm just going to go there. There we go.
I'm going to minimize everything. Go ahead.
Ooh, cool background.
Thank you. Boop, there we go. Throws it into full screen in less than 2 seconds.
That's beautiful. There's such an ominous, your PC may restart several times.
What's funny is you can actually trigger it to reset if you'd like in the terminal. You can use a key press combination also to just shut down the computer. If you do like the Windows button and L, I think that should lock it automatically. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to modify this payload.
So evil.
All right. We're still screen sharing my screen. Let's do this live. Okay. After we hit string F, I'm going to wait for just 2 seconds, delay 2000s. Then we'll do GUI L. GUI button is also the Windows button. I'm going to save that. And it might actually kick me out of the stream. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my camera over my shoulder so you can watch me get kicked off live. That actually happens.
Cool.
Okay. Also, yes, I'm streaming at the public library. All right.
Chaos.
We're going to go ahead and run that. Opens up the browser. And it locks my screen.
Awesome. Now I guess you gotta unlock so that we can look at the stuff again. There we go. Everyone can pretend we can read Alex's password. Hunter 2, creative. Would anyone else like to show their screen? I've stopped dorking out in my text files, so I'm actually gonna pay attention to the stream now.
I can show a cat fact generator that gets
Yes!
you a little bit more interactive with the terminal. So one of the scripts that I wrote is called a cat fact generator, and it does something very similar to that fake reboot, where it's pretty much almost the same code. So a lot of times this is going to be your home base for where you're going to launch things from. But if you, instead of just loading up a web browser, you actually run some code here. So this is a while true loop. Do a curl of this website, catfact.ninja./fact, and then run some extra stuff at the end. Thank you, ChatGPT. The offshoot is that when you run the script here, we'll make it so you can see the script at the same time, is it'll actually run that code on the terminal for you. So we're going to go back here and we're going to go to my cat facts there. And then we run our delay and you can see my screen. It just popped open a terminal. And now it's just lions are the only cats that live in groups called prides. Every female within the pride is usually related. So as you can see on my screen, it's just generating cat facts for me. But it's actually running, it could be a lot more malicious than that though. So we're just running these cute cat facts, printing them to the terminal. That's fun and all. But
I've used curl for some really malicious stuff. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, curl can be used for a lot of malicious stuff. Lynd peas is another really good one to auto execute.
Lynd peas.
Which one is it?
Lynd peas, LINPEAS.sh. It's an auto auditor that you can just curl onto a system and run, and it will tell you all sorts of things.
Terrifying.
It'll find any file systems that shouldn't be there. It'll find all the keys and let you know they're there. It'll let you know all the file systems you have access to. It'll let you know if you can get like the salts and hashes for the user IDs and passwords on there. So it's a lot of fun. And another thing you might want to do, maybe you don't want to connect to the internet. Maybe you just want to stay local. What if you just wanted to tarball up, like zip up all of the keys on a system and then export them onto your Ducky drive that you have connected? So this one, I didn't go as far as writing the export part, like copying it down, because I thought that might be too dangerous. You should use that as an exercise for yourselves. But I do have this SSH key extractor on here. And so we'll go back here and we'll go down to the SSH key extractor and we'll run that. And so it just dumped all my SSH keys to a file on my desktop.
Whoa.
So if we look at my desktop, we can see now that, let's see, ls, if we do later, yeah, you see SSH keys tar at the end there. So yeah, we can see that, and we can see that it's got size there. So yeah, the next step is just copy it over to the volume, and it's there.
Wow.
So that's some of the stuff you can do interacting with the command line when you're connecting to a system. It can be really useful for executing payloads on all sorts of devices, not just your computer.
So you also mentioned
an use case. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go first, Alex?
Well, Amelia also just mentioned a moment ago that there is a way you can load Ducky script on a PyPico via here, and that will.
I actually took inspiration from that project very early on.
Cool. Would you like
the first version of CircuitKitty, back when it was called the Nugget, was built in CircuitPython, and I actually pulled code directly from this repository. Fun fact.
Nice.
I'll let you take
Other
it away.
fun fact, it's my coworker that invented it.
Huh. Awesome. So again, this is emulating that that rubber ducky device from Hack5.
Well, I wouldn't say it's emulating it. It just interprets the scripts the same.
Right. So then here's the Lynd peas one as well. We dropped that link up there. We'll put all these links in the chat after the fact, so that you can mess with your system and potentially others, but be nice.
Only systems you are authorized to test.
Correct.
There we go. This
I
is
have
so
two more
cool.
demos for you guys if you want to take a look at it.
Ooh, yeah.
This one I'm not going to do live, but on that note about curl, Canary Tokens is a really awesome tool that you can use to create basically honeypots that masquerade as things like Microsoft Word documents or images that you can put on your desktop or somewhere that someone shouldn't have access to. And it alerts you whenever someone tries to access one of these credentials or honeypots or whatever have you. One of the ones that they offer is a DNS token, and you can actually exfiltrate data directly to this DNS token. You only need two pieces of information, the email that you want to register alerts to, and also just a reminder. It's a completely free service. So I've used this in the past. One of my war driving demos that I actually wrote up on Hackster called DNS Drive-By uses a DNS token from Canary Tokens to bypass captive portals on free Wi-Fi, like Starbucks or hotel Wi-Fi networks. I stuck the exact same chipset that's on the DevKitty on my friend's car, and using just Wi-Fi, every time they hit an open Wi-Fi network in the city, it would reach out, it would bypass the captive portals on a free network, and then hit this Canary token that showed me their GPS location. So you don't need LTE, basically, to track someone. You can also use this as a very rudimentary way to perform data exfiltration using curl. I might do a short write-up on that, but I've used this as a free method to just upload short strings containing passwords or other things like that to an online service. So I'd recommend checking this tool out. It's pretty badass.
Wow. CanaryTokens.org.
Oh, we're in the
All right.
infinite tunnel
Oh,
of
now we're in
screen.
the loop. I was writing down our tabs here for later. So yeah, as you can tell by me being distracted, I'm pulling all of these links into a text file, which I will use to update our video later on. I want to try mine. I think that I did this wrong, but I'm going to try it anyway. Let's see. So what happens if I hit... Ideally, you won't be able to see this on my screen necessarily because it's going to open it up in Safari, but I'm going to see if it'll work in Chrome, actually. We got Mac. Oh, it's not saved there yet. Oh, it is in the prank folder. There we go. Okay, so I've got my rick.txt, which is the one that opens Safari, and I'm pretty sure that works. But then there's also my Chrome, which I'm not sure what the string is for Google Chrome versus Safari, because sometimes...
Google \/ Chrome.
Ah, sweet, thank you. So that went too fast. It started putting the YouTube stuff in the...
That event, more delays.
Yeah, longer ones.
I have a short demo pulled up.
Ooh.
Actually, wait. We'll stay on my camera. I want to show you the web interface.
Cool.
Is it going to disconnect you from the internet?
No, but it could do that.
We
let me see what the default password is.
The Austin Audi in Seattle with your Ponagachi. Ah, man.
Yeah.
Right.
So why wasn't Audi like on a network to start with?
No, it was the network for the Audi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Get you over here.
Alex is doing his over-the-shoulder trick again.
Yep. I love just having this level of portability. Being a digital nomad is awesome. I just set up my camera wherever.
Infinite screens.
Beautiful.
It's cooler when it's in real life, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see the delay
up on my
when he
lap.
puts his hand in front.
There we go. Okay, so I've connected to the DevKitty web interface.
Uh-huh.
The thing to note is if you're connected on a phone, you'll have to disable LTE because we're going to a local IP address.
Right.
So I'm going to open up Brave and make sure I don't have anything weird.
Oh, man. Brave is such a trap.
Okay, cool.
Turns out you can have over 2,500 tabs open on mobile Brave. Ask me how I know.
Mine just shows an infinity symbol.
Yeah, I know. I don't have an exact count. Oh, dear.
This should be the default IP address, 192.168.4.1. It should show you the exact same file layout that you saw earlier. So that's the root directory. You've got Linux, Mac, Windows. So I've got a prank payload pulled up here. It's called glitch.txt. What this does is it actually uses curl to download a piece of malware that I wrote. And let me just show you what it does. I'm going to go ahead and run that.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
Unexpected behavior. It did something in StreamYard. Give me 1 second.
Oh, that makes sense.
I tried to run the Rickroll example, and it also just pulled up the
Personally,
StreamYard
Close out all
shortcut.
this.
Ah.
I'm gonna close out of all this real fast. Okay.
I guess that's a benefit of using a different browser. You can tell it which browser to open it in.
So I use a different URL for my Rickroll that doesn't end up like it doesn't have a video, but it's from a script that opens it in the background. So I'll post that into chat. So this has no ads or anything. It's somebody else's tiny URL. I don't know who's hosting it, but have fun.
Wait, there we go. Are we still on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this just curls a
Whoa.
script. I forget exactly what it's using, but it's some built-in Linux tool that just glitches it out. What I used to have this do is it would also disable the keyboard and the mouse, so you wouldn't be able to stop this, and it would refresh your computer, or restart your computer. But a lot of people got mad at me at workshops because they had unsaved work.
Yeah. Actually,
If you do end up running this, you can bring the script back to the foreground and kill it. But yeah, if you're curious what the glitch.txt payload is, that's what it does.
That's terrifying.
I did that one at Open Hardware Summit in your workshop, and it was absolutely terrifying. And that was
Nice.
a keyboard. Like, wow.
Good stuff.
Were you
I'm
able
gonna
to get
leave
any
mine in.
Windows scripts running?
Yeah. I got, I followed along with the kind of Rickroll concept and made, the classic thing of like going to Best Buy or whatever and putting all the computers onto your homepage. I just wrote a little thing that opens my website and puts it full screen on my homepage.
Nice.
Amelia, what is this tiny URL that you dropped me again?
It's the direct to Rickroll audio. So if you just want no video, you just want it to play.
Okay. I'll put that. That's okay to put on the screen.
I love
Yeah.
We'll put it in the description too.
Isn't Rickroll audio only called the song? Like isn't that just a Rick?
Yeah,
episode?
we should have it pull up a duck roll tab, with go way back deep cuts.
Mine is pulling up a different song actually, but it's like a trick. You think you can get rickrolled, but then it's something else. I'm gonna see if mine works. But David, if you'd like to show something on screen, let me know and we'll pull it up.
Sure, I've got my notepad open. I don't know how exciting or different it is than anyone else's.
Oh, it's not doing the enters. It keeps just typing everything into the.
Let's see your script.
Here we go.
So it's pretty simple. Here's my, I wrote my pseudocode first, and I used little rem commands in there. At first, I thought I was going to have to open the URL, do the open and then enter URL, but I realized, oh wait, you can just put it on the command line. That's what my original thing with the Windows XP thing, and I was like, forget that. I'm going to change it to my homepage, and so it just plops my homepage on your computer full screen. Pretty simple.
Also, a good note there, those first couple of lines that David has all have rem in front of them. That's short for, I think, remark, my bad. That's basically how you comment in Ducky script. So if you want to leave little notes, you will have to do it on a new line, but remark is the way to do that, REM.
I know what my problem.
There's also some more specific commands that I made just for the DevKitty. If you want to use colors to trigger the onboard LED, you can use the color commands. And I have RGB, CYNM, I believe. Let me make sure that I've ported it over to the CutieCat, though.
While you do that, I'm going to try again with my little script and see if I've got enough delays in there yet, because I think that's what keeps being the problem. Come on, it's opening terminal.
Can I just guess?
It typed it in.
Oh.
Quotation marks. No.
Is the song going to be Cats on Mars, Alex?
Oh, it should be. That is the song, the Cowboy Bebop song that's constantly playing in the back of my head.
Did we lose Amelia?
Oh, I forgot that it never
Amelia's
works
back.
when you try to like do music together over a web connection.
We're all delayed.
Too much lag.
Yeah.
Such a good song though.
I
No, we were
ran the
talking
colors
about
command and it crashed my my browser there.
Alex, how could you? That's why I'm not like too concerned about actually getting this up and running right now, because I'm like, I'm running stream. That would be bad.
Yeah.
So Alex,
Oh yeah,
I
if you do
noticed that
connect
it's
to the web
dynamic.
interface, if you do connect to the web interface on this, it'll disconnect you from whatever Wi-Fi you're currently joined to.
Yeah, not doing that.
So it doesn't even
One thing I noticed, Alex, is that if there's a text file into a folder, it'll show that folder up as a child folder. So like I was able to go into Mac here and add a folder called GPT. Now, would that work up in the root here? And is it any folder that has a .txt? Because I noticed config.txt is showing as well.
Right. That, we'll say it's a feature. So you know it's there. No, I do want to hide the config.txt. It used to be a hidden file. It used to be a dot file, but some people had trouble finding that on their operating system, so I just removed the dot for convenience.
That
It
makes
will
sense.
see any text file and allow you to interpret it. .txt file specifically.
That makes sense. On Macs, at least, if you use the ls-h, I think I usually do like ls-hal to show all hidden files as well as like other usually visible files, and that'll help you see it. But like, there's also like some command I ran to get Finder to show hidden files as well. But in general, if you have a file preceded by a dot, like Alex said, it'll not show up in the file system. I can see why that would be troublesome.
I also have, and I forgot about this, there's an official repo you can check out, github.com/devkitty-io/scriptkitty payloads, I think it is. We'll have to conflate our payload repository, Amelia. But if you check out the ScriptKitty payloads, you can see some of the other ones that I've created here. All future payloads will go to this this repo. This is an interesting one. It was called fake sudo. It basically replaces the sudo command, or it aliases the sudo command on Linux. So it just caches your password somewhere for malicious purposes. Or you can also use this to run any command of your choosing whenever the user types in sudo.
Cool.
Because it turns out you can just arbitrarily alias any of the built-in commands, including superuser.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
So does that mean if they try to sudo unauthorize, you get alerted, Alex?
Wait, sudo unauthorized? What do you mean?
Not in the authorized sudoers list. They this will be reported. Who will it be reported to? Alex.
Wait,
it'll be reported to Alex.
True.
Is that a Rubik's Cube that your thing is sitting on?
Yes.
I've got a like smart Rubik's Cube thingy up here called the
I just got that one. The one that connects to the app and everything.
Yeah, it's like programmable.
Yeah.
I
already looked up the FCC ID on it, and I already saw there's like 10 other models. I got research to do on it.
Tell us what you like about this particular set of flags on the ls command, by the way. I'm going to put it on the screen.
Oh, the ls-latr. It just gives you a list of all the files in a system or in a folder. It gives you all of their file sizes, their space on disk, their extension. It includes all the dot files, and it orders them by the one that was most recently created. Nice. Which is really nice when you're trying to, cat logs, and you're like, well, which log is getting touched when I run this program? Well, ls-later will let you have that all sorted out in a nice, easy to read format.
Nice.
This is also useful if you only have access for a couple of seconds and can't exfiltrate everything. Sometimes I'll just do a recursive ls to get a listing of all the different possible things I could scrape at a later point.
Yep.
Just enumerate
it's like
them
a tree, but you don't have to install tree.
Nice.
Precisely. How much time do we have? I think we'll still probably save CircuitPython for later, but I think this is a good point. We did a very brief introduction to Ducky Script. We got ScriptKitty set up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, thanks to scheduling stuff, we got started about a half hour late. I think this is a great stopping point. We talked about maybe doing like a third video in the new year. Ginger was talking about that too. I think it would be awesome.
Amelia's already got that beautiful MicroPython demo in the background, but you'll see more of that if we do run a CircuitPython MicroPython workshop.
Cool.
I have a question I'm dying to ask. So it seems like the files can kind of live reload pretty quickly, like as long as you hit save and then go back and then go to the file again, you can execute your changes. Is there any way to like open a notepad on your computer, edit the file, and then re-execute it from the file itself?
Huh.
Yes, you can do that.
So what? How do you launch? How do you launch from the device?
So
in the
you would
script?
just run your program would write the script out on the screen and then just run the script to edit itself, because once it's typed, it's done being accessed and you can edit that file live. So
Oh my
you, in
God.
essence, could give an API to GPT access to this to write its own scripts and execute its own functionality on your hardware.
You could also get it to erase itself, huh? You could tell it to like.
Amelia was talking about possibly using FFmpeg to scrape YouTube videos for frames, downsizing it to the OLED, and then refreshing the screen with custom graphics.
This is
That'd be a fun
monochrome screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you can't do cool stuff with it.
No, like Alex was saying, I have experience with scraping images in frames off the web and auto-converting them and downsizing them to specific screen sizes. So using that skill that I built, I think I can take YouTube videos and dynamically generate N size, N by X, X by Y size videos from any YouTube frame video for a monochrome.
We'll have to demonstrate that next time.
If I can get it working.
You should try for next time. You should get it so it does it from the live stream and puts us on the live stream on the actual kitty.
What is this, GDQ?
So I'm going to run us back through our links real quick that we're going to be dumping into the description of this video. If y'all have anything to add to that, also let me know. I would love to get the link for Alex's talk at Hope. I wasn't able to find that on YouTube, but I did find a bunch of different ones. You've been running these workshops for ages, and you've given talks at SuperCon, at Teardown, etc. on various...
If you go to my website, just alexlynd.com, I have a link to the most recent talks that I've done.
I'm
I have to update
put
that,
you on
though.
screen.
Oh no, okay.
Sorry, I gotta pull up your website, and I never know what's in my history or whatever. It's nothing bad. I just like know. Okay,
These
cool.
are just weird stuff for me, like recipes or whatever. Yeah, if you go to the work tab, I haven't updated it since 2023. But if you want to find some of the other talks that I've done, some of the other talks that I've done, or some of my upcoming events, I'm gonna try to post that here. Also videos too.
Very cool.
Have you been in the Bay Area?
What? Hardware.io or?
Yeah, Hardware.io.
Yeah, once a while ago. It was awesome. I think that I did a hardware CTF there that was really fun. Alvaro Prieto, do you know him? You should know him. He does a lot of like reverse engineering stuff. Oh, okay. We gotta introduce you to. But anyway, super cool person. Helped me with the hardware CTF at Hardware.io. It was really fun.
Nice.
So yeah, everybody, if you want to win one of these kits and join us in the new year with more hardware coolness, go to events.hackster.io/hacksterholidays. Sign up to enter the giveaway, get verified, and we're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff, including a bunch of these kits during the wrap-up live stream. So you can find this in our virtual events and webinars playlist as well at youtube.com/hackster.io. You can find the first part 1 of this workshop. You can find part 2, which is this that you're watching right now. And then you can also find the Hackster Holidays finale and grand prizes draw, as well as drawing for the DevKitty and other cool stuff for live attendees. Also, scroll down to the description for the link to this tutorial. We've got build your own cat-themed hacking console with DevKitty. Again, this is the CutieCat, which is a version of the DevKitty, or like one part of the DevKitty ecosystem, which also includes other forms of the hardware. We're using the DevKitty web flasher, which you'll find in the description as well. This was my Rickroll thing that I got off of your device that was already on there. Go sign up for updates about Whisker on Crowd Supply. This is the upcoming new version, which has really great attachments for antennas. And what else is new?
The screenshot that they used, or the product that I sent them, that is the CutieCat right there. You'll notice that the holes in the ears, if you want to switch to my camera.
Yeah.
These are for SMA mount points. So initially it just had the screw holes for M2.5 screws to secure down in the case. But then I added these 4 extra holes here that you can use to solder on an SMA to UFL adapter. So there's also a mod chip space here, which you can solder down a GPS onto. So if you wanted to route these to the ears, that's exactly what's going on in that photo.
You've
I'll
also
be doing
got
that when I get home.
yeah.
Beautiful.
You've also got go on, please.
Oh, if you want to pick one of these up, you can also check these out at shop.devkitty.io.
Ah, yes. Let me pull that up. And then also, while I pull that up, shop.devkitty.io, note that these ones we're giving out in the live stream on Tuesday are the special Hackster edition, which are blue and have our little logo on it, which I love so much. That's so cool. Look how textural it is. Okay, enough of that.
I did that on purpose. It's instead of the usual
ASMR.
ground plane fill, I wanted to give it some texture, so I did like a grid fill that used to be used apparently, so the solder mask could adhere to the PCB better. But I just did it because it looked cool.
Look how nice.
Is
It's
mod
so
chip a
pretty.
standard thing, or is that just a DevKitty ecosystem thing?
It's just a DevKitty ecosystem thing. In the top left, there is the mini meter, though. That's a really tiny battery charging module that I designed.
Awesome.
Neat.
Yeah, I was
what I
going to
found
ask. I
annoying-
saw a LiPo battery on there.
Yeah, what I found annoying is there's not a lot of good drop-in solutions for lithium polymer battery charging. There's like a lot of there's like the TP4056, which has micro USB and like points you can solder onto. There's not a lot of good like middle ground solutions where like you can just get a castellated thing to solder onto a board or drop into an existing design. So I tried to make one in as small of a form factor as possible. It's I think like 5 centimeters. I don't know metric. I'm sorry. It's really small. It's like the size of your thumbnail.
And isn't
but you can do battery metering over I2C. You can do charging. It has like a low dropout regulator, over discharge protection, all the stuff that you would need for managing a battery.
Awesome. I thought this was on one of your websites, but I'm having trouble pulling it up right now. But you've got shop.devkitty.io leads to here.
If you go to devkitty.io, it should be on the documentation.
The main one.
If you go to hardware and mini meter.
Okay, the real shame here is my crappy typing. What did you say now?
Go to learn.
Learn.
And then if you go down to hardware.
Oh yeah, that's where it was. Look how cute.
So
LiPo
cute.
management module. I'll drop this in the links as well so that you don't have to embarrass yourself like me. But everyone go check out the sorry.
Getting a whole batch of those assembled, so you can also buy those on the web store pretty soon.
And look how pretty this is with all the antennas on there and stuff. Antennae? When it's hardware, do you say antennas or antennas? What do you
Antennas. I think antennas.
Antennas. It's only antennae if they're ants.
And then you've also got all these cute little like 8-bit style pixel art thingies on the front too. I honestly might not put the enclosure on mine because I think it's way too cute.
I'm actually getting resin printed, not resin, I think maybe it is resin, the clear enclosures printed from PCBWay. So
oh, nice. We've also
those
got
will be available soon.
Yeah, sweet. Everyone watch out for that. Where should they follow you actually?
You can check out the social media that's linked on the DevKitty site, but if you want to find me personally, you can find that at alexlynd.com. My Instagram is alexlynd, my Twitter is alexlynd. Or you can try to catch me out in public. I'm usually at a library or a coffee shop or whatever.
Cool. I'll pull those up later. But here is the alexlynd.com. You can go stalk by whatever. Oh, is this light mode? Oh, hate it.
Yeah.
I did that to myself. Okay. Anyway, you can also find Amelia, aka Asks, demos here under Quackery for Ducky scripts. Just go into there. This is Amelia's website. We showed everyone else's last time. Actually, David is the okay. We'll go there in a second. But just to wrap up here, Cybertractor Challenge. Go check that out. Cybertractorchallenge.org. Okay, David, tell us about yourself because I forgot to pull up your stuff. You weren't on here last time.
That's true. I'm not sure what to tell you about myself. I inherently plugged myself without even meaning to during the screen share because I put my own website in that script. So I guess if you go to ishjr.com, ishjunior.com, or even ishotjr.com, or even just search for ishotjr pretty much anywhere. You'll probably find me. But there's all kinds of fun links of my different projects and things on there. Oh, there you go. There's me, and I'm a hacker and a maker and all those things. And you can see various things that I'm involved in and things that I create on there.
You're also the community editor at Make.
I definitely am. I'm community editor at Make.
Very cool.
It's my day off today, so I guess I forgot to plug things appropriately. But yes, there's a Make link on there. Though, look, there's a Make link on there, and I think Make is participating in the holiday giveaway. I think we have the electronics book, and maybe I don't even know if this is like public knowledge yet, but I think we're doing the electronics book, and we're doing Steph's skill trees book. Let me plug Steph's. Let me plug Steph's.
Yeah.
That is rad. I don't know if we have a URL for that handy. I certainly don't, because I wasn't all prepared apparently. But I'd love to see some love for that, because we've been having an absolute blast with that. It's so much fun. So definitely check that out. Available in the Maker Shed. I think it just came out in the past week or so. It's been on pre-order for a while, and I think it is actually available for order as a book or as a PDF. So makershed.com, definitely check out Steph's pictures. Awesome.
Is this it? There's a lot of different links around for this, so I'm just making sure I've got the right one.
Ideally, we do the Makershed one or the GitHub one or whatever you got.
Yeah, I believe it is this one. It's the cool hexagon.
Look at that!
It's on sale. Pick it up if you need a late.
And, that's the PDF version. If you want to click on some of those previews just to explain kind of what it is, maybe like that 5th preview that shows the So it's really cool. Basically, the idea is that you are interested in one of these topics like coding or 3D printing or electronics, and you're trying to figure out where to go to improve your skills. A lot of the time you just kind of do that randomly, just hacking on different things, but this gives you a little guidance. If you start at the bottom there, it kind of starts out with the simpler things, and then the shapes are connected so that you can kind of follow a path from the bottom to the top to sort of more advanced topics. And it's just a fun way to kind of keep track of what you've learned and encourage yourself and just kind of build your skills and feel good about yourself based on what you've accomplished.
And Steph Paper is super cool, the creator of this book. She's also published companion book tutorials on Hackster.io regarding different workshops that she's run for children and stuff. Very, very cool. I'm going to take this guy out of here.
I don't know if you've seen the circuit board art too, but she makes some pretty beautiful kits.
Yes. Gorgeous kits. Actually,
she gave me a cat-themed lamp, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a beautiful pin from her that is this bio girl. It's one of the first times I saw someone do multicolored solder mask on a single PCB, which I think there's UV printing. I'll pull you up your screen, Alex.
I just looked up cat lamp PCB kit, and the first thing that comes up is the video that you did.
That's so cool. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Live assembly. You can see me solder. Good stuff.
Yeah, Steph is a blast.
Look at that beautiful little greenhouse one, and then there's one of a girl in space that's these gorgeous blues and purples. Cat lamp.
Beautiful.
And I mean, her aesthetic is throughout the book. It's this same aesthetic. It's all kind of designed like you're in this fantasy operating system. It's really cute.
Cool. Let me see if we've got anything else coming up here. I think that's it. But yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Alex, would you like to wrap us up at all, or?
I think we pretty much stepped through everything, but I appreciate everybody for joining the live stream, and especially to you, Alex, Amelia, and David, for helping host this workshop. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Next time I'll try and do less of the actual hacking live, so I don't forget that you're doing an infinity screen. Because I'll just play on my own and then come prepared to nerd out on what y'all are doing. Thank you, though.
Excited for the next one.
Part 3 is happening. That's the real thing. We're doing it.
Let's make it happen.
We have to
let's make it happen.
But I absolutely want to. I'm so excited. I keep saying this, but I've been wanting to play with this thing for a million years. I keep seeing your workshops, Alex, at different conferences and being like, oh, I wish I had time for that. And so this is just such a happy thing for me. Thanks to Ginger, our program manager, and our program coordinator for helping us make this happen. Like, you two, really, Alex and Ginger sort of coordinated the whole thing, and it makes me so happy.
Really excited for the CircuitPython one. Also, David, you came to, I think, the second workshop that I ever did. Claire was in the last one, the last virtual workshop. She attended my first ever workshop, which happened at SuperCon. I think the second one happened at Open Hardware Summit back in March of maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. So it's cool to see how all of this has come full circle and like how far the product has come in that time, and that you guys get to be a part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Final thing. Just go to Hackster.io. You can find the links to all of these things. Go to the finale link here, or click on the present, and then you can find the tutorial here. If you're having trouble finding the stuff, just go there and you'll find it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Rock on. Or hack on, I guess I usually
Happy
say.
New Year.
Hack on.
Happy New Year.
Hack the planet.
See you.
Hack
Hack
the
the planet. See you in 2025.